Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we are going to study the internal structure of kidney. In my previous video, we have studied the parts of the kidney and also the definition of excretion and osmoregulation. Let us now see the internal structure or the longitudinal section of a kidney. We know that kidney has outer convex margin and inner concave margin. The outer portion of the kidney is called as renal cortex. This portion is called as renal cortex. This is often shown in dots. So this entire region is a dotted region, and the inner portion is known as renal medulla. So, the longitudinal section of the kidney shows basically two parts, outer renal cortex and inner renal medulla. This is the longitudinal section or the LS of kidney. The renal medulla is thrown into pyramidal structures like this. These are triangular structures which are present in this manner, and these are shown in long striations. So renal cortex is shown in dots and renal medulla is shown in striations. It is so because this region, the renal medulla, contains the collecting ducts of the nephron. Each kidney is composed of millions of nephrons. Now, the location of the nephrons or their position inside is in such a manner that the renal corpuscle, which I'll be discussing later in this video, or the Malpighian body is present here, which is seen as dots, and the long collecting ducts run through the medullary region. So, they are shown in such striations. Between the two renal pyramids, there are long columns. These columns were first seen by Bertini. These are the extensions of the cortex. We call them as renal columns of Bertini. Now this concave side, as I told earlier, was called as hilum, and there is the ureter. We are not going to talk here about the artery and the vein. We have discussed it earlier also, that from this place only the renal artery comes in and the renal vein goes out. From this area there is the origin of the ureter. This funnel like structure of the ureter is known as the renal pelvis, and this then further branches and it forms this sort of structure. These are called as major calyces. Calyx is in singular, calyces is plural, and these striations which open up in this renal pelvis show the minor calyces. So these small are called as minor calyces and these big openings are called as major calyces. So when the urine runs down the collecting duct, it opens in the minor calyx, joins the major calyx, then opens into the renal pelvis and then runs down the ureter to open in the urinary bladder. So this is how the ureter is. The ureter has this funnel shaped structure called as renal pelvis, which forms these calyces. The big ones are known as major calyces and the small ones over here are called as minor calyces. Now let us study about the parts of nephron. Nephron is also known as uriniferous tubule. In each kidney, there are more than 1 million nephrons packed up. So we define nephron as the structural and functional unit of kidney. Let us see the parts of nephron. Nephron is divided into renal corpuscle, which we also call as Malpighian body, and the renal tubules. The renal corpuscle or Malpighian body has two structures: Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. The renal tubules are made up of small tubules. The first tubule is proximal convoluted tubule. There is a loop in the middle called as loop of Henle, and the distal convoluted tubule. The distal convoluted tubule opens in the collecting tubule, and many collecting tubules of the nephrons form a collecting duct. So these are the parts. When we will be drawing the diagram, we will be knowing the location of each part. Let us study the structure of nephron. As we just studied that the nephron has this cup-shaped structure which is known as the Bowman's capsule. This is the Bowman's capsule. Inside which comes the afferent arteriole. The afferent arteriole is made up of from the renal artery. When we were studying the structure of kidney, we studied that the renal artery enters inside the kidney. Now the renal artery divides to form arterioles, and arterioles further branch to form the capillaries. So anything which enters in is often referred to as afferent. So this is entering inside this Bowman's capsule. So we will call this as afferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole, and this comes and branches inside to form a network of capillaries which we call as glomerulus, and then it further branches to form a efferent arteriole. Compare the diameter of both the arterioles. This I called as afferent because from here the blood is coming in, and from here the blood will be leaving the Bowman's capsule. This one is known as efferent. Efferent goes out, so it has, the lumen is less, or it has lesser diameter, and this is wide. So the blood which comes in and then it moves into the capillaries and then it moves out from the afferent arteriole. This structure that I have just drawn is the renal corpuscle or the Malpighian body. Now this portion is present in the renal cortex, which appears as dots. Continued is a convoluted tubule. There are convolutions, and so we call it as proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal word has come to tell its location. Since this convoluted tubule occurs first, it is present here, we call it as PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, which is also present in the renal cortex, and then it forms a loop-like structure. This loop has two limbs. This limb is known as the descending limb, and this limb is known as the ascending limb. Now From here, when the blood enters into the glomerulus, there is a filtration process that occurs, which we will be studying in detail when we study the mechanism of urine formation. So when the filtration will take place, it will come inside this capsule and then it will travel. So the filtrate from the blood will be called as now the nephric filtrate. The filtrate will pass and it will move down in the descending limb and then it will move up in the ascending limb. Then there is another convoluted tubule, and since its position is later, we call it as distal convoluted tubule. So this is PCT and this is DCT. The proximal convoluted tubule, this comes first. Distal, it comes later. Distal convoluted tubule. The last part of the distal convoluted tubule is the collecting tubule, which combines to form the collecting duct. Suppose there is one more nephron over here. This is the collecting tubule of one more nephron. Then here is one more nephron, and these are all the collecting tubules which combine to form one collecting duct. This collecting duct runs down in the renal medulla. So we show it as the striation. The renal medulla is often shown in striations. So this portion comes in the renal medulla part and the loop of Henle, while these all, the DCT, the PCT and the renal corpuscle comes in the renal cortex region, and the loop of Henle and this particular part, the collecting duct, comes in the renal medulla. So it is seen in striations. So this is the structure of nephron and the parts of nephron. This is known as loop of Henle. These are the collecting tubules. And this is a collecting duct. The mechanism of urine formation takes place in each nephron, and as I told you that more than 1 million nephrons are packed up in each kidney. All the nephrons are meant for the formation of urine, and when the urine is being formed, it is then carried by the collecting duct into the minor calyx, then the major calyces, and then into the renal pelvis. Through the ureter it goes into the urinary bladder. So this is the structure of nephron. Now this figure shows the Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus. This capsule is lined by a single epithelium, and this epithelium, the cells are known as podocytes. So you can see the cells shown in blue are the podocytes, and there is thus a space left which is known as the capsule space. In the Bowman's capsule, the glomerulus is present. The glomerulus is formed from the afferent arteriole. The afferent arteriole comes from the renal artery. Now you people know that the artery divides to form arterioles, and arterioles divide to form capillaries, and the capillaries unite to form the venules, and which again unite to form the veins. But what we see over here is that here are the capillaries which are again forming the efferent arteriole. There is a significance behind this type of structure. Why? Because when the filtration takes place, when the blood from the renal artery and then from the arteriole it comes over here, the diameter is gradually becoming lesser and lesser, and therefore the space for the traveling of the blood becomes less and the pressure increases. So when there is a lot of glomerular pressure, the filtrate is filtered from here. So the blood gets filtered and comes over here as filtrate. So it is that this filtrate which is present over here carries a lot of important things. The small glucose molecules, some important amino acids, then vitamin C and many other important things which are important and are not meant to form the urine. In the glomerulus, almost in 24 hours, there is 16 liters of the filtrate formed, but that much amount of urine is not actually excreted. It is so because from this 16 liters, much of the water is reabsorbed. Water is so important, we cannot waste that much amount of water, and along with that, many important things are again taken back into the arteries, that means into the efferent arteriole, and therefore from here much of the important things will again enter into the blood. The arteriole will again branch to form the vasa rectae, and then in this vasa rectae, which is a branched form of capillaries, the absorption will take place from here, and then the vasa rectae will unite to form the venules. So it is this type of structure that the glomerulus does not form the veins over here, but it will form after the process of reabsorption. So this is what is the renal corpuscle or the Malpighian body. So this is all about the structure of nephron. If you have any doubt, you may ask me in the comment section, and you may consult the description box for the questions. So this is all about the structure of nephron, but in my next video I will be dealing with the mechanism of urine formation in the nephron. Thank you.